already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in with your need, that is just...
It is refreshing.
Yes, that's what it is.
What I keep telling people love MediShare and they love saving money. A typical family can save $500 a month.
I am very thankful for MediShare. It is so different. And I mean different in a very, very good way.
It is good different. Call now. They're easy to talk to and you can get a price within 2 minutes. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
We interrupt this program for an on-the-spot news report.
News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen. 222-2222.
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak, and there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now to book your Amtrak reservations. We service most of the United States.
All aboard!
Do something new. Travel by Amtrak today.
800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. That's 800-428-9517.
The Maddie Festival and Conference is back. September 12th through the 14th in the Grand Center Arts District. 3 days, 15 stages, and more than 100 performances featuring legends Common and Pete Rock, Patti LaBelle, and De La Soul. Also R&B stars Lucky Day, Leon Thomas, and Leela James. Jazz greats Branford Marsalis, Pedrito Martinez, and the Baylor Project, and of course, masters John Medeski, the SOS Band, and Carl Denson. Plus, Maddie artist in residence, STL's very own Keon Harold. Enjoy live music, art exhibits, carnival rides, food trucks, and more. Hear from thought leaders across music, art, tech, and innovation, and see community curation by Shakespeare Festival of St. Louis, The Walls Off Washington, Poetry Motion, Pack Dance, and more. Meet us at the intersection of art and life in the heart of Midtown St. Louis. Purchase festival passes now at MaddieSTL.org.
The Lou Information Station presents Art City Now with Vic Faust.
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the show. Tuesday, 6:05 is the time, September 9th. How did you like the weather yesterday? Beautiful day again. We were talking about it's going to be a little warmer. We've been also talking about that. But it's dry heat, not too humid, feels good. Fall is right around the corner. We're here, Art City Now, getting you up and at it on a Tuesday morning. Projo, when we go after our first break, can you open the blind so I can watch the sunrise this morning?
Absolutely. I only opened it partially for now until the sun comes up.
I know. Then that window right there, I like to watch the sun come
Right.
up. Although we don't know when the sun comes up because it's getting later and later
Gotcha.
every day. Thank you, Projo. Hope you're doing well today.
I am.
I didn't see Darth Vader running around the studio this morning, so I guess it was another day that Darth was left home.
Yeah.
Looking at you like, what the hell is going on?
Every day.
Why aren't I going?
Mhm.
I should be going. Guys, check it on the show. You can jump in on the chat line as always. You know what you can do that. X, YouTube, Facebook. Once again, X, YouTube, and Facebook. We are here for the next 2 hours. Loving that you guys are here. And we have a really cool guest today at 7:30. Judge Michael Randazzo, whose family was connected to the mob in St. Louis, has a new book that's coming out. He's going to talk about his family ties to the mob, things that he said need to be talked about that haven't been talked about before, that families shunned upon. Also, what it's like to be one of these judges in the Eastern District. He's like, they get a bad rap. Like they're boring. He's like, they're really not. They're actually very intelligent people who have to deal with a lot of things. So he's going to join us live in the studio at 7:30 today. Looking forward to that. We'll continue to promote that throughout the show. So jump on in. Let us know what's happening in your communities with your people. Shout outs. We love it when you guys do the shout outs. And of course, it's all about you guys, your show. Good morning to you, Ben. Good morning to you, Greg. Jumping in already. Very quick today at 6:07. The national days today on this September 9th, 2025. It's National Teddy Bear Day. I liked teddy bear when I was a kid. I had a teddy bear. Teddy. Like Teddy.
You know where the teddy bear came from?
I think I recently heard this, and I'm trying to remember, where did it come from?
It was apparently some sort of, it was an association to Teddy Roosevelt back in his day.
I thought
they sold teddy bears.
I thought that I had heard that somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's all I had.
All right, good. Something is better than nothing. So it's National Teddy Bear Day. It's also National Wiener Schnitzel Day. It's International Sudoku Day. It's Care Bears Share Your Care Day. What the hell?
Which Care Bear are you?
Oh, it's Greg's Day, Wonderful Weirdos Day. It's also International Box Wine Day.
Nice.
Adam Sandler, 59 today. Adam Sandler, 59.
Who knew?
How about Hugh Grant? He was massively popular as an actor. He really was. He had his run. I still never understood why he was out paying low money for street hookers. Remember he got busted for that?
Yeah.
Like just nasty stuff.
Some people have weird kinks.
Let's talk about Pro-Joes. Michael Bublé.
We don't have a long enough show.
How about Michael Bublé?
Yeah.
That's pretty darn interesting. Michelle Williams, too, 45. Guess how old Michael Bublé is? He's 55.
I saw that. I'm thinking, wow, he's older than me.
Dang, Rachel Hunter, I remember 56. Yeah, so a lot of the has-beens today,
right,
that were really big bens. They were big ones. And now they moved on. Very interesting. Okay, thank you, Greg. As always, we appreciate your effort and your time from doing that. We talk about all things St. Louis all the time and other stories that get localized that might make sense for you, anything that moves on. I saw another coffee shop opening up over in the Cottleville area. I mean, there are coffee shops, it seems like, open. Are coffee shops, I wonder, the most opened and closed business in the St. Louis area? They would have to be.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It always seems like there's coffee this, coffee that.
It's really hard to stand out when you're in that industry because coffee is coffee. If you put pumpkin spice in it, it's coffee with pumpkin spice, no matter where you go.
That's true. There's another place called Beans and Brews Coffee House. Beans and Brews Coffee House. And it's in the Cottleville area. And it has, where's that moving there? Oh, I was looking for it again. It's a Utah coffee roaster. So they're opening their first location in St. Louis. And we do a morning show, so we always talk about morning things.
So, like, I guess.
They have cold brews, but protein coffee. I still haven't checked out Costco's protein water. I should have done that already. But this is over in Darden Prairie.
I'm just wondering what's different about the coffee beans in Utah.
Yeah, I don't know. The altitude?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they could promote that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about the Powerball winner over there in North County, Spanish Lake, or at least it was purchased there. We don't know where the person wins. That's just where the ticket was purchased. A lot of people commute around, go into different stores. I've purchased tickets in different stores. We'll get into that. An old apartment complex in Webster, 138 violations, people told to get out. That's tough. I knew this wouldn't take very long, but there's very popular Korean yellow big barbecue truck. The K-Bop STL truck. Yeah, it was stolen. It was found. Where are you going to hide a huge yellow truck?
Right.
Give me a break.
Somebody really wanted some Korean barbecue.
We'll talk about the no swim ban over in Rockford Park because of drownings. I was wondering if we get to this point where officials would start banning and making it illegal to jump in creeks and rivers in Jeffco and around there.
I wouldn't want to jump in any of the creeks around here right now.
I know, but there's a
anyway.
lot of people do that. You know that.
Oh, I do.
There's another Dave's Hot Chicken that opened up. There's one in the Chesterfield Valley. It has a long line. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dave's Hot Chicken. They're opening up another one in the St. Louis area. We'll tell you where that is. I stayed up late. I got sucked in to watching the Monday Night Football game, the Vikings and Bears, because I'm in a pool, I think with like 60 people, where you pick the teams each week, just straight up, no point spread. And then you pick point spreads for the final game to try to, or you pick the scores as tiebreakers. It literally went down to the second tiebreaker from 60 people. 12 of us had 12 games right going into the final night.
Nice.
And then 9 of us, I think 8 or 9 of us, had the Vikings winning, who won 27-24. Then there were like 4 of us that had the same kind of difference of score. And then it went down to the final one. My point being here is close but no cigar. I got 4th. The weekly winnings are $110. So I got 4th. You know how much money 4th brings you, Projo?
No clue.
0.
Right.
No points for second place.
If you ain't first, you're last.
You ain't first, you're last. No cents for second. It's 6:14. Glad, thanks for jumping in with us. We try to have a good time. Appreciate you liking, subscribing, sharing the show. You can catch us on X, on YouTube, and Facebook. Projo's alongside as well. Things that we're talking about. Cardinals lost last night. They're in Seattle. That's all right. It is what it is. The season's slowly coming to an end. As we head into fall. So I don't know if anybody watched the game, stayed up, watched the game, if you're still into that or not. But that did happen last night. Also, students continue to lose ground. This polling ended at the end of 2024. The American student is on a 2-decade slide. Reading and math compared to the world students. Reading and math. Maybe we can catch up in AI. But China's already ahead of us far beyond that. Did you know that China, it's mandatory for their kids to learn AI right now in grade school. They're grade school age. Mandatory.
It should be.
Mandatory.
Here in America, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody should
Why
know
isn't it
more about
mandatory in the United States?
For the same reason.
Our schooling system is so antiquated, old.
It's for the same reason our kids
I know that
can't
there are
read.
educators who do not want to hear that, and I love teachers, but you've got to keep up with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be disciplined and tough. And too many times we've lowered the bar from an educational standpoint, almost in a sense where it's like we got to make sure everybody is comfortable. That's not how the world works. You have to push people. You have to find a way to make it work. And there are ways to make it work where people get challenged, kids get challenged. Yes, you need parental help. And I know parents seem to be working because we need money this, we need money that. We got to have the best of everything. And there's not enough money for everybody to have. So anyway, I saw that and it was kind of a bummer. I was like, damn, we got to get moving with that. Dairy Queen turns 85 this month. We'll let you know where you can get some 85-cent blizzards.
What about a dilly bar, man?
A dilly bar?
Yeah. Never heard of the dilly bar? They used to be they were known for the dilly bar. I don't know.
So you like a dilly bar, huh?
Do you know what a dilly bar is?
I don't know.
I love it as a kid.
I know what a dilly bar is. No, I won't be caught eating a dilly bar. Next. Woo! Woo! I just feel good because I'm starting to feel my voice come back today for the first time. So I don't want to get too excited, Projo, because it's right there. But any other stories events, things that are happening, let us know. Jump in on the show. We will talk about those things with you. We love it when you do that. Anything St. Louis, anything that's happening, whatever the case, it's going to be another really nice day around the St. Louis area. Getting up in close to the 80s, I think, right? Around 80, something like that.
Yeah.
80 and sunshine, and it's not really humid. Those are the outstanding days that we love. Also, if you guys have stories, you can go ahead and jump in. You can jump in on the chat line, as you know, or you can email us at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. I thought this was interesting too. The Post did a story about high-tech jets and hangar expansions. Private jet companies are investing in St. Louis. I know what a dilly bar is. I was teasing. Projo showed me the dilly bar. I know what a dilly bar is. It was basically like a Klondike bar on a stick.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yep.
It was just Dairy Queen's version.
Mm-hmm. But I think the dilly bar came first.
I wouldn't doubt it. I could see that.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the show.
No, it's all good. It is all good. We'll talk, we were talking a lot about Mizzou football yesterday. What a time to be a sports fan again in Columbia. The Mizzou basketball team right now has the #1 ranked basketball recruiting class in America as well. For the 2026ers, the kids that are seniors right now that will be on campus next year. Dennis Gates and crew, they got it going on. A lot of money flowing through Mizzou these days because, number one, it's one thing to recruit kids, but now you have to have some cash to recruit as well because you're not just picking a school. Oh, I like that coach. That's a really good school. I'm going to go do math and science there. They got my degree program. That's BS. It's about money. It's about money. It's about the payday. That's what's happening right now. So Mizzou is getting it done. They're out in front. 2 5-stars recruited already. 2 5-stars, 2 of the best players in America go, yeah, we're going to Mizzou. Gotta love it. Could be a really good time in the next couple of years, especially with the basketball team. And then you got the football team rolling, so we love that as well. So all of these things going on. And anything else that you guys want to talk about, jump in on the show. It's all things St. Louis all the time. We're here till 8 o'clock today. Once again, when it comes to the shows throughout the day, check out luinfo.com. Once again, that's luinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0, Cam Jansen, Jim the Cat Hayes. Follow us every day from 8 to 10 o'clock as well. So we jump in from that standpoint. The big news I was waiting for yesterday was the lottery ticket announcement. We got it pretty early. You already saw all of that, right?
The last I heard was they still didn't know the location. But
Projo.
But I heard it earlier when you announced. But I'm saying that before the show, the last thing I heard.
Yeah, they came out yesterday. The winning Powerball ticket in Missouri was sold in Spanish Lake. Spanish Lake.
Good for them.
At QT, baby.
I hope they help their community with some of that money.
Well, it all depends. Well, once again, we don't know
if it was. If they actually won
purchased
from that area
at the Quick Trip,
right?
And I'm sure Greg can tell me or somebody else in the area. I always called it Lusher Road. Is it Lusher, Lucier, Lusher? All those right over there in the Spanish Lake area. That's where the ticket was sold. And now, and that's what they wanted, I guess, a chance to, because remember, they kept it quiet at first.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be announced until 72 hours after, which is today.
Or at least that's the amount of time they have, right?
Right. Yeah.
So now we wait and see. So now it's Quick Trip, and I feel better. All in the world is good again because I know where the ticket was purchased. And now it's like, okay, is anybody going to come forward? Do not come forward. Do not come forward unless you're giving all of the money away.
You know, I think it's just great that it was in the St. Louis area. It gives me hope.
It should. People are now like, oh, yeah, we can go get that. Why not? Heck yeah, we can. Of course we can go out and get of course we can win the lottery. I mean, one was won in Missouri. I mean, the last time a Powerball was won in Missouri was 2012, so it's only been 13 years.
Right.
So Projo, maybe in 13 years,
I could win again.
You could win for Missouri. So you're saying there's a chance. Yes, there's always a chance. Even if it's a small chance.
Even if it's less likely than getting struck by lightning.
Well, there is a chance. There is always a chance. So we're going to wait and see. We'll find out if anything else comes out of that. But the winning Powerball ticket was sold over there and it just goes to show it can happen anywhere at any time. And then I saw something, of course, on TikTok. Isn't it interesting? It's like 60% of winners are former FBI or CIA connections of some sort. And then donations go back, and it's like, okay, they're quantum ball counting. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this is something totally up Projo's alley.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm over here shaking my head going, yeah, I can believe that too.
You could.
I've never won.
And
until I win, it won't.
Oh, until you win, it's not fair. Okay.
Until I win, they won't convince me that it's not a conspiracy to keep me from winning the lottery.
To keep you. Oh, that sounds about right. It does. That's all right, Projo. I'm sorry. Because I know you're like, it's a conspiracy against me.
Always.
They're trying to keep the man down, the Joe man down. Don't they know I've got to feed Darth Vader? My God.
I got responsibilities.
You got responsibilities to do. Welcome into the show, everybody. Thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Glad you were with us. Dilly Dilly. Bud Light commercial. That was one of their good ones, too. That was repeated a lot. Dilly Dilly. You probably don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one. I'll have to look that up.
Oh, you'll find it. You would look for it. Dilly Dilly. It's from Renaissance or medieval times, I believe. Greg says, I missed one yesterday. Blonde comic strip debuted on September 8th, 1930. Done by Murat Young, a St. Louis in St. Louis. Oh. Greg, thank you for the help with the pronunciation. It's Lusher. That's how I did say it. When it comes to winning the lottery, Greg says, as Shaggy the rapper used to say, it wasn't me. And good morning to you, Donna. Glad for you jumping in on the show. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. We're here getting you up St. Louis Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Just having good conversations. Keep it somewhat light. I mean, there are some more stories that can be a little bit more serious, but we love to promote everything that's St. Louis, the fun, the interesting, the exciting, the entertainment, you name it. That's what we're doing. Cardinals lost last night 4-2. No surprise there. I mean, it happens. Right in Seattle. Those things can happen. Monday Night Football had a really good game. The Bears and Vikings. I know we have Bears fans in the area. We've also got some Vikings fans. Like I said, in St. Louis, it's a melting pot of teams. The Vikings come back and beat the Bears in their new coach's debut. And they did it in pretty good fashion late in the game, 27-24. So it was a pretty exciting first week of football. And then all of a sudden, we're into week 2. It's Tuesday. And then we start looking at the week 2 games. And then right there staring us in the face, right out of the gate already, you've got this weekend. Can't wait for what's going to be happening this weekend. Sunday, the Chiefs hosting the Eagles in the afternoon game. A rematch of the Super Bowl. Chiefs desperately need a win. Eagles coming off an ugly win against the Cowboys, but nonetheless a win. And that's going to be a damn good game. That'll be a really good game. So I'm looking forward to that as well. We are Arch City Now. We're your Lou information station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com every day, Monday through Friday. Glad you guys are jumping in already on the show this morning. It's early. If you have ideas, comments, shout outs, that's what we do here on the show. Jump in, let us know, jump in on the chat line on Facebook, X, and YouTube. And or you can also go ahead and email us, archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, that's archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, coming up later in the show today, we'll talk about it. I'll promote them when I come back. Is it break time yet, Projo?
2 minutes.
I know you're all caught up in your dilly bar.
I'm promoting.
But you won't want to miss it. At 7:30, we've got Judge Michael Randazzo. He's going to be joining us on the show. He's coming in the studio live. St. Louisan. He'll be talking about his family's ties to the mafia here in the St. Louis area. Also, when they were here, and I don't want to that's kind of just a blunt way of promoting it, but at the same point in time, he's got a book that's coming out, and really looking forward to getting that out. From chaos to order in the court. Dedicated public servant, accomplished attorney, respected community leader, lifelong challenges. He feels it's time to talk about some of those things that he calls it breaking the cycle of generational sin, a story of crime, courage, and hope, and also to shed a light on judges. He doesn't think that judges get much credit in this day and age, people who choose that craft. So he'll be coming in studio live 1 hour from now. You won't want to miss Judge Michael Randazzo, presiding over shadows from chaos to order in the court. We'll take a quick break. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, Projo alongside, back with more right after this.
Hot Take Central 2.0.
Now, as you sports fans know,
it's really getting out of hand, man. It's going way out of control.
With Cam Jansen.
I'm going to lead you down the path that rocks.
And Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
You're a legend in the city, moving by day instead of night.
Weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
Hell yeah.
Only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
This whole situation is getting out of control.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not sure how to get a lawyer after an accident? Call Brown & Crouppen. We'll walk you through it. Worried it'll cost too much? Here's a fact. At Brown & Crouppen, you pay nothing up front, and we never get paid unless you do. When you're our client, you'll have all your questions answered, all for free. Hurt? Get the facts and help you need. Call Brown & Crouppen now.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Eric Napudi. Hope you're having an amazing day today. Listen, let me ask you a question. Are you just so tired of the system that's broken, the supposed healthcare system that is not helping you? Listen, if you haven't learned anything over the last 5 years, you have to learn how to take care of yourself. Self-care is the real healthcare. Stop relying on the broken system. Stop relying on the system that got us in this problem in the first place. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I want you to go right now to trybiolimitless.com/archcitynow. That's trybiolimitless.com/archcitynow. Go check out some game-changing formulas that truly have changed the lives of tens of thousands of people already. We've got a detox formula that has been proven to remove heavy metals and microplastics and destroy parasites in the body. We've got a cell signaling formula that helps improve energy, helps the body burn fat. It helps you actually stop those afternoon crashes, gets you off of all the darn caffeine, and stops you from having to use all those energy drinks that are destroying your health. Check out our Master Microbiotics formula that truly helps change the game for gut health. If you're bloated, if you're distended, if you've got issues with chronic pain and inflammation, that formula can help change your life. Not to mention our Neuro Reboot. Listen, if you can't focus, if you can't function, if your brain is just not where it's supposed to be, the Neuro Reboot peptide formula is amazing for you. And listen, if you're trying to shed some weight or put on some muscle, it's time to get your metabolism to reset. Our cellular reset formula can do that. Go to trybiolimits.com/ArchCity now.
Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Carlton, State Farm. Thanks, fellas. Nothing beats college football season and nothing beats saving money. Just by getting a quote from our office and mentioning Mizzou, we'll make a donation to support Mizzou's will to win push on your behalf. No strings attached.
So you're supporting the team just by checking your rates. Doesn't get any easier than that.
It's so easy. Check them out online at carltoninsurance.net. MIZZOU.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on. Presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice-cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
Buddy. What do you say, buddy?
Man, life comes at you fast. 1 minute you're cruising home, the next flashing lights in your rear view, and that's when you need backup. With the Legal Buddy app, you can connect to a local attorney in seconds. Seconds? Not waiting days for a callback? Nope, right away. DWI, car accident, criminal charge, traffic ticket, Legal Buddy's got your back. So it's like having a lawyer in your pocket. Exactly. Someone ready to step in the moment you need them, no matter the situation. That's peace of mind. That's Legal Buddy.
We're always going to be buddies, right?
All right, where do I get this? Just download the Legal Buddy app at LegalBuddyApp.com. Register and use code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Nice. Tickets, accidents, legal trouble, you're covered. The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download it today. Enter code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card.
But you don't get much better than this.
Yep. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome into the show. Appreciate you joining us. I'm Vic Faust. Pro Joe's alongside as well. Another beautiful sunrise in the St. Louis area this morning. It is September 9th. 6:35 is the time. Good morning, St. Louis. Let's have a great day. Greg jumping on the chat line says, the judge in St. Louis that presided over my divorce many, many, many years ago was Barbara Ann Crancer, Jimmy Hoffa's daughter. So was she in the St. Louis area or was that in a different state? That's one question. Also, Donna says, great game, Vikings and Bears. Vikings, of course, getting it done with their new quarterback, making J.J. McCarthy, the former national champion from Michigan, making his first start. Didn't get to play last year because he had tore his knee, tore his meniscus. But also, just a really good game all the way around. Talking about Judge Michael Randazzo, he'll be in at 7:30. Looking for that to promote a new book that he has, Presiding Over Shadows: From Chaos to Order in the Court. Really just, overcame a lot in his life. And then, he talks about his father striking deals with the Mexican cartel, battling opioid addiction, every member of his family being involved in massive situations. And he's out talking publicly about it. He said it was always taboo for the family, but he thinks it's good to get out there and start talking about this. And also to promote what he does. What does it take to rise above a legacy of darkness? How do you reconcile love for those who did unspeakable things? He says his life is proof that the past shapes us, but it doesn't have to define us. So Judge Randazzo loves the show, called us, said, hey, I'd love to get on the show and promote the book. I'm like, come on up, let's go. So he'll be here at 7:30. And we're always grateful for these people who get up early and jump on the show because, as we have found out, it's very difficult to get guests.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Anyway, we appreciate people who do come in. If you're just joining us, the winning ticket, the Powerball winning ticket was sold at the QT. The QT in Spanish Lake on Lusher Road. Of course, local news crews were out at the Spanish Lake QT interviewing people yesterday, talking about it. It's a nice quick trip.
Be funny if the winner like happened to walk up while they're interviewing.
Kind of toy with them a little bit. Yeah, that's if you won, it's like, okay.
I'd be in the background putting bunny ears over.
Where's the
heads.
ticket? Number one, where's the ticket? Let's get that to a safe spot ASAP.
Yeah, of course.
And then number two, who are you telling and not telling?
Right. The first person you're supposed to tell is an attorney.
Yep. Would make sense. But even that, it better be a damn good attorney that you love, know, trust.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And not just any attorney. I think I'm going to church to pray. First, what the heck do I do now?
This is true.
That's
that would be
where
the
I'm
first
going from
person
that
to go
standpoint.
to, yeah.
By the way, that quick trip at Lusher Road is just off Lewis and Clark Boulevard in the Spanish Lake area. Been there. I've been there a couple different times when I was over doing some work and business in the area. So congrats to whoever won that ticket. We found out yesterday. And now the jackpot I saw yesterday when I went into a QT over in the Richmond Heights area, actually off Hanley, 20 million. It looks so small. It used to have a 2.0 billion, and now it has 20 million. What would you get? A measly like $6 million in a lump sum payout. So low. Oh, well. All right. Happy.
That QT on Hanley is my go-to QT, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How is that your go-to? You don't even live out that way.
No, I'm talking about when in my Uber days.
Oh, your Uber days.
That was my pit stop.
Okay, I get it then. That makes sense. Donna from the chat line says, Judge Frank Caprio of Cotton, Providence, reality TV, passed away from pancreatic cancer. Wonderful man, a real humanitarian. For reference, the QT that I was talking about, where the Powerball ticket was purchased, the winning ticket, is about a quarter mile from Christian Northeast Hospital. So people will know where that is. Right off, not too far off 270. Beautiful sunrise. Also from the chat line, yes, St. Louis City Judge is who Barbara Ann Crancer was. Talking about Jimmy Hoffa's daughter, who presided over Greg's divorce. Okay. And now we know the rest of the story. And now we move forward. Okay. This is what's concerning. We talk about kids. School is back in session. We want our kids to do the best that they can. But now the studies have come out. This ended up at the end of 2024. So it has nothing to do. This is like December and ended in December of 2024. A decade-long slide in high schoolers' reading and math performance has continued, scores dropping to their lowest level in more than 20 years. This just being released from the nation's report card. 8th grade students lost significant ground in science, and this is according to the National Assessment of Education process. They were the first assessment since the pandemic. And 8th graders in science and 12th graders in reading and math. It's all a downward shift in our country, and it continues. And this, by the way, the NAEP is considered to be one of the best gauges of academic progress of U.S. schools. So, quote, scores for our lowest performing students are at historic lows. Historic lows. The results should galvanize all of us to take a concerted and focused action to accelerate student learning.
You can't keep up with the Joneses if you don't try.
While the pandemic had an outsized impact on student achievement, experts said failing scores are a part of a longer arc in education that can't be attributed solely to COVID-19. Exactly. Said they're fine. It just seems like kids aren't interested as more. Things get easy, when you live in America compared to other countries. They said that the dip in reading scores appeared alongside a shift in how English and language arts are taught in school, how it's being taught, with an emphasis on short text and book excerpts. As a high school English teacher 20 years ago, a woman they spoke to, a teacher, said it was common for her high school students to read 20 books over the course of a year. Now, some English classes are assigning maybe 3 books for the entire year. Read, read, read. Reading is one of the best things. We already know this, that kids can do it. It develops the brain. Kids don't understand it, but it develops a brain in a way that is unmatched. I watched it happen with my daughter. I've got 2 very smart boys, but my daughter read the whole Harry Potter series in like a summer and like 2 weeks. And she was a genius, literally a genius. And she didn't get it from mom or dad. I'm just telling you, she didn't. And she just read. And it helped change the way that the brain formats, the way that it processes. Education Secretary Linda McMahon, who's new to this position, and she started this role after these scores have come in, says that the current administration is trying to give states more control of education spending because something has to change. It has to change. Quote, despite spending billions of dollars annually on numerous K-12 programs, the achievement gap is widening. So that's getting worse in America, and more high school seniors are performing below the basic benchmark in math and reading than ever before. Test scores show more students are not reaching what should be considered basic achievement across subject areas. And I'm just wondering if it's a matter, it's teaching, if it's kids just not doing homework, kids on their phones, kids gaming. We're getting better at gaming, though.
Yeah. Kids are really good at that.
Does this concern you?
Absolutely.
In math, the average score in 2024 was the lowest for our country, 8th graders through 12th graders, since 2005. The lowest we had ever been in 20 years. 20 years at the end of 2024. 45% of high school seniors scored below basic achievement. Okay, that is freaking scary. And this is what I've always said. It's like, how can public schools say that they're doing a good job for our kids when you have testing that comes out like this? And I love teachers. I do. I have a passion for teachers and police and people who work in service. And I don't blame the individual teachers. I blame the products that we've had that produce this and put everybody in a one-size-fit-all mold.
And there has been warning signs, and I know that they saw this coming, and they didn't do anything to try and stop it.
Just 33% of high school seniors were considered academically prepared for college-level math, a decline from 37% more just since 2019. And then the high school reading and math assessments and the 8th grade science test are given less frequently than the biannual 4th and 8th grade reading test, which were released last year. I mean, this is very, very, very concerning. We like to stay positive, but these are things, and St. Louis is involved in this as well. This is a huge, huge deal. And finally, the scores also reflect, though, the reemergence of a gender gap in science, technology, engineering, and math courses. In 2019, boys and girls scored virtually the same on the NAEP science assessment, basically the same in 2019, 5 years ago. But in 2024, the end of this testing, girls all of a sudden saw a steeper decline in scores.
Whatever could have happened 5 years ago?
COVID. That's what they said.
Sure.
Guess what? COVID was one of the worst things that my daughter ever went through from a schooling standpoint.
Oh, sure.
She did great in the structure, came home, and she changed. She's brilliant, but it did not work for her. But it's pretty much been proven.
I still think that our education system was declining before that.
It was.
And
the testing shows.
Right.
And this is nonpartisan.
That was just the nail in the coffin, COVID.
They also say a similar pattern occurred in state math assessments where girls are not scoring higher than boys anymore. Girls were considered to be smarter. They were. Sorry, it is what it is. Math, they were scoring higher than boys. They just were. Not anymore. Now everybody's the same. Wow, just all of this. The other thing, they said the pandemic disrupted schools' ability to create those hands-on learning experiences for students. Yeah, we get that. But they also say we don't know exactly what the cause of the lower scoring is, but it would be incomplete to assume that if we hadn't had COVID, the score would not have gone down. That's not what the data showed even before the pandemic because the arc was trending downward. COVID just helped it. So it's interesting to get people's opinions, where parents stand on it. If you have kids that are going through school, I'm in the situation where, my youngest kid is a senior in high school. And he's had to bust his butt to do everything he can, and it's gone well. But you have to put the time in. You have to work. It's not all about playing and games and fun and phone and fun. Pleasure. Comfort. And it all starts with parents. Peer pressure is difficult. As parents, we just trust that the schools are doing what they should be. You got to spend more time with the kids. Got to.
You got to spend more time with your kids than the school.
And that's why exactly. And it's difficult for single parents. It is.
Oh, absolutely.
When you have two parents in a household, it's so much easier and better. You divide, you conquer. Everybody has the same mission. But there's people who insist on doing it all by themselves. Well, I'm just going to be single. I'm going to do it all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. But I'm telling you, it's impossible to do the best job that you can. And you're doing a great job, but it's impossible to do the best job. Donna says, Greg, what are the national this and that's for today? Well, we kind of went over just a little bit at the beginning of the show. Greg can let you know. It's what was it? National Weirdo Day? Something like that.
Yeah.
Donna says, my mom always had a book in her hand, a great role model. I always read to my grandchildren. Thank you, Mom. It's very sweet. Absolutely.
Wonderful Weirdos Day.
Wonderful Weirdos Day. Okay.
That is the perfect description of Greg. You said it earlier. Oh, I have to agree.
Yeah. So if you guys have any other examples from a school standpoint, educational standpoint, testing standpoint, feel free to jump in where we're going, what we're doing, how schools are getting by. And by the way, I talked about public schools. That doesn't mean that private schools are getting some sort of, pass, because they're not as well. All of these testing goes into the same. It does. There may be less bad scores at some private schools, but it's all in the same form. You've got to find a way to make the testing scores better.
It surprises me that private schools are reporting the same.
Well, they all do that. Yeah, but I'm telling you, my kids were in private schools, but that doesn't mean that just because you're in a private school, you're getting a better education. I'm sorry. It does not mean that.
I would hope so. The curriculum.
I've spent a ton of money over the years. Now, can you, if you apply yourself, be in a much better situation in some things? Yeah, 100%. But that doesn't guarantee anything. Not at all. I won't say the schools, but I'll never forget my son, who's a senior in high school, was a straight A student in his grade school. And we thought he was doing phenomenal. He took his entrance exam for the high school that he goes to, and he tested in like the bottom 20 to 25%. So guess what that straight A student had to do before his senior year of high school? He went to summer school. He had to go to summer school and bust his arse for the next month They had to pay for it for him to be able to, and guess what? At the school that he goes to, he's got a 3.5 now over 4 years, busting his butt. So there is no excuse for kids not to be testing. You've got to put the time in. How much do you want it? Do you want to get scores? Or do you want to just be hanging out with your friends all the time, or your girlfriends or boyfriends, or video games? Those things are there. You just have to do it. And parents have to kind of force you into it. They do.
Yeah, because the kid's perception is going to be
And if you have two parents, both parents have to do it.
Yeah.
If you have one parent involved or guardian, they have to do it. But it's always better with two parents. It just is.
100%.
Greg says he resembles the wonderful idiot, or the one. What is it? A wonderful idiot?
Wonderful weirdo.
Oh, weirdo. Sorry. There's a difference between a weirdo and an idiot. So I'm sorry. An idiot is that's derogatory. A weirdo's fine.
Greg,
Many of
you're
us,
a wonderful idiot.
many of us are weirdos in a variety of ways. That happens. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. Projo's alongside as well. Absolutely gorgeous morning throughout the St. Louis area. Enjoy it. September 9th. It is beautiful. Coming up on the show, presiding over.
Sorry.
I don't know. It's like I just felt like you felt like promoting it, so I was going to promote it.
No, I was showing the sunrise. Actually, let
me see the sunrise.
We've had requests for the sunrise.
That's our morning. Yeah, we got to brighten up that shot somehow. I got to figure that out.
Yeah,
in our spare time, since we have so much of it.
Yeah, right.
That's our sun. That's our shot.
Yep.
With the birds flying through, and I see the chemtrails in the skies behind you.
'Tis the season.
Greg says it's sad. A lot of parents, teachers, and kids just don't care anymore. The teachers I know do care. I'm not saying all of them do, but the teachers I know and the people and the teachers who have dedicated their lives to teaching do care. They do. Sometimes I feel their hands are tied in a variety of situations as well.
I also feel like some of our educators have been miseducated, like some of our healthcare.
That can be the case too. Yeah, totally. It would make sense. It would totally make sense. If you want to jump in on the chat line, you can. You can do it on X, YouTube, and Facebook every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. We love it when you come and have a conversation with us. We talk about all things St. Louis, stories that affect us, what's happening in your neighborhoods, your communities, your parties, your events, your whatever. That's what we're doing here. You can catch us on podcast and on radio. You can also email us at archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, that's archcitynow@gmail.com. Projo's alongside. I'm Vic Faust. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us each day from 8 to 10 o'clock. I think it's Milan Lucic, a guy who was in the NHL for a long time, is one of their guests this morning on The Big Show with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes. That'll be coming up at 7 o'clock. Also, at 8 o'clock. If you're just joining the show, we've got Judge Michael Randazzo. He's coming in to talk to us today about his family's involvement in, I guess you could say, corrupt activities, mob-related activities in the St. Louis area. How he broke the cycle of sin that he says of generational sin and became a judge. And now he became, by the way, and by 2022, he became the youngest presiding circuit judge in the state. And we're just grateful to have him come into the show at 7:30 to promote a new book that he has. If you have questions, you can jump in on that as well and ask him questions. We love to get the stories out there, the things that are happening throughout the St. Louis area as well. Also, if you wanted to jump in on what's happening from a school standpoint, which we brought up, you can do that as well. What's up for the day? What's going on for the day? We'll talk about that as well. We'll also get into the story. Community leaders are now getting ready to ban where you can get into the water in the St. Louis area because we've had so many emergencies and drownings. I know. We'll tell you about what's happening over at Rockford Park. Jefferson County trying to be proactive with all of the situations that they've had to deal with. And if you want to, if you know whoever won the lottery ticket, feel free to let us know.
Right.
If you know who won the Powerball, or if you won the Powerball, feel free. We'll interview you.
Exactly.
We'll have
Give
some
us the
fun with
scoop.
that. We'll get into what Greg said about COVID, saving his son. Very interesting comment there. When we get back from the break, this is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. Projo's alongside. And we'll be back right after this to talk about that. Plus Judge Michael Randazzo, who we'll have. And of course, anything else that you guys want to jump into. We are your Lou information station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Projo's here. I'm Vic Faust, back with more right after this.
At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
The Maddie Festival and Conference is back. September 12th through the 14th in the Grand Center Arts District. 3 days, 15 stages, and more than 100 performances. Featuring legends Common and Pete Rock, Patti LaBelle, and De La Soul. Also R&B stars Lucky Day, Leon Thomas, and Leela James. Jazz greats Branford Marsalis, Pedrito Martinez, and the Baylor Project. And of course, funk masters John Medeski, the SOS Band, and Carl Denson. Plus Maddie artist in residence, STL's very own Keon Harold. Enjoy live music, art exhibits, carnival rides, food trucks, and more. Hear from thought leaders across music, art, tech, and innovation, and see community curation by Shakespeare Festival of St. Louis, The Walls Off Washington, Poetry Motion, Pack Dance, and more. Meet us at the intersection of art and life in the heart of Midtown St. Louis. Purchase festival passes now at Maddie STL.
You're listening to the exclusive home of Fighting Illini football, the Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
The Maddie Festival and Conference.
News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen.
So what's his handle?
GetBC.com.
You're gonna need lawyers, right?
Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios in Kirkwood.
Daddy is out of the cleaning up dump business.
KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis.
Federal officers had been restricted from stopping people based on their race or ethnicity or if they speak Spanish. The court's decision was in response to an emergency request filed by the Trump administration, and it puts on hold the ruling from the Biden-appointed judge. Homan says he can't understand why a governor or mayor wouldn't want to protect people of L.A. and help ICE arrest dangerous criminals. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
President Trump lost a bid to overturn a verdict ordering him to pay over $83 million for defaming writer E. Jean Carroll. Reporter Lisa Rubin spoke about the ruling.
Through what's called a per curiam decision, meaning it's unsigned, all three judges agree. They have upheld the verdict in its entirety, including the punitive damages award.
The judges found Trump failed to identify any grounds which would warrant reconsidering the prior holding on presidential immunity. The New York Supreme Court said no to opening an ICE office on New York City's Rikers Island.
Judge Mary Rosado has ruled Mayor Eric Adams' executive order null and void. She called it an impermissible appearance of a conflict of interest since it came weeks after the Trump Justice Department dismissed federal corruption charges against the mayor. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare.
Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. You can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
A tsunami is not expected after a magnitude 5.8 earthquake struck off the coast of California and Oregon last night around 9:08 local time. It was centered about 165 miles northwest of Eureka, California, 102 miles west-southwest of Port Orford, Oregon. President Trump says America was founded on faith, and when it's strong, good things happen for the country. He spoke on religious liberty at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. Monday.
And under the Trump administration, we're defending our rights and restoring our identity as a nation under God. We are one nation under God.
He announced the Department of Education will issue guidance aimed at protecting the right to prayer in schools. New Yorkers reacted to reports President Trump wants to take over the 9/11 Memorial Museum in Lower Manhattan. Even though 9/11 families asked the federal government to make the Memorial Museum a national park, other New Yorkers are not happy with the idea.
I think it's crazy. I think a lot of people lost their lives, and I think there should be some type of respect left for them.
He wants to take over everything.
I don't know. He wants to be in control of every little thing. He wants to micromanage every little part of America.
Reports come just days after the New York Post reported the CEO of the nonprofit 9/11 Memorial Museum allegedly made more than $775,000 last year. I'm John Summers, USA Radio News.
After all the recent violent protests,
News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen. 222-2222. 222-2222.
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel, a delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here, and when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
The Lou Information Station presents Art City Now with Vic Faust.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Good morning. It is Art City Now. Vic Faust here. Projo alongside as well. Donna says it feels like a Monday to me. Anybody else? I don't know about that. Had a day yesterday. Last week was weird because it was, coming off Memorial or Labor Day. Short week. Went by super fast. There was a lot going on. I don't know. I'm just trying to enjoy this Tuesday. The sun is rising. It's going to be a beautiful day. Beautiful morning throughout the St. Louis area. That's why we like it when you guys jump in on the show, talk with us, what's happening. Appreciate you guys listening as well. And that's what we try to do. Get you up and out the door 6 to 8 a.m. every Monday through Friday. You can check out on X, YouTube, and Facebook. You can also just listen to us if you are on the radio at 5:90 a.m. That's where we are getting things going. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. We appreciate it. And then, of course, you can jump in on the chat line and let us know how everything's happening in your area. What's going on? Anything that you guys want to talk about, that's what we do. And then, of course, we provide a guideline of some sort when we get to some of the topics that we have. Dairy Queen, 85, already 85. Projo loves his dilly bars. He lives down a dilly bar.
I used to do the peanut buster parfait also.
Okay. Ooh, there you go. Well, you can also get an 85-cent Blizzard this month, and that is at all locations nationwide because they're celebrating their 85th birthday. So what's going to happen? This started yesterday, and it runs through September 21st. So what they can do, quote, our fans eagerly anticipated the return of fall flavors. They said from fan favorite pumpkin pie to decadent indulgence of caramel and toffee. We've crafted something special for every palate. Every sip and spoonful are a celebration of comfort. Okay, I get it. I don't even remember last time I had Dairy Queen. I stopped eating sweets again, and this makes me kind of want it again, maybe. But here's what's happening. All the way through September 21st now, DQ Rewards members can enjoy a small Blizzard treat for 85 cents. And it's exclusively available through the DQ mobile app with the purchase of $1 or more. So there you go. Everybody jumped in on the fall stuff. I think the whole pumpkin spice latte years ago created this whole new fall menu. It became so popular. Hey, maybe we can jump in and get something else for it. So, oh well, it's working. Getting some of these stories today here at the top of the hour. The winning Powerball ticket, at least one of them, was sold at the QT on Lusher in Spanish Lake. Nobody has come forward. Please do not come forward. Just stay quiet. Go do your thing. At the end of the day, I think I say only, but it was a $2.1 billion Powerball shared between two winning tickets, the one that was sold at Spanish Lake and then one in Fredericksburg, Texas. Now, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but I saw video reports yesterday. Not sure if you saw this, but a ZBT pledge at the University of Texas had the other ticket. But I don't know if that's real or not.
Right.
So if anybody has seen that or knows, that would be a very, very, very interesting story. That was sold about 70 miles north of San Antonio. Each winner is going to get $893.5 million. And then that's before taxes.
Before taxes.
Yeah. Before taxes. But didn't we say that was what? 37%? 40%?
Yeah.
That's still pretty damn good.
Yeah. No,
I think.
More money than.
Yeah, they take it. More money they had. So if you guys know anything from the Spanish Lake story, the Texas guy, the kid, if that was truly the winner, I haven't had a chance to check to see if that's been verified yet, but it is out there and it is interesting to think about. Okay, that's a lot of money. People are now enjoying. And then does that give people, oh yeah, we could win in Missouri. We could do that. Does it keep the hope going? Projo said, yeah, shows me why not? And if the lottery's fixed as Projo wonders, why not give a shout out to Missouri who hadn't won one since 2012 to keep the interest alive? Another story from Webster Groves, Missouri. This is tough. You know, residents at the Douglas Manor Apartments in Webster Groves ordered to leave by the end of this week. They had 138 code violations. Yikes. It was originally opened in the 40s as an elementary school, and then it was converted into apartments. But you have people who are having to move out, and, you know, that's their home. So they've got to find a place to go as well. The city's been very willing to work with the property managers, but they said they wouldn't work with them. And Vatarat Properties, which manages the building, did not respond to any request for comment. So that's going on. It's unfortunate. Those things can happen. Got to stay up to code. Good news, though. Somebody thought it was funny to steal the Korean big yellow food truck, the Korean barbecue, very popular, K-Bop STL. They have two spots in the city. Well, thankfully, the truck was discovered early Saturday morning. Its food truck had been stolen. The owner, his name is Mr. Lee, called police realizing that it was stolen from the Delmar location. So by Sunday, they recovered the truck. But of course, it was busted up, broken ignition, gear shifts, major damage under the hood. It's going to be about $5,000. And this is what's interesting. Insurance isn't covering it. I don't know why.
That's ridiculous.
We pay a lot of money for insurance in this area, in the St. Louis area. And a lot of it's because of thefts and things like this.
Why have insurance if it doesn't cover?
Well, you're forced to.
Right.
That's the catch-22.
Wow.
But the owner was grateful for police and helping him track down what had happened.
We're just forced to, make the owners of insurance companies millionaires and billionaires.
Yep, it can happen. Also, Jefferson County, Missouri. Visitors to Rockford Park yesterday had mixed opinions. They were talking to local news stations. Jeffco is thinking about banning swimming in an area where first responders reported 60 emergency calls just in the past 10 years. That's 6 calls a year.
Right. In instances like that, I can see why they'd want to keep people out of that area.
Why not let people swim at their own risk? Because people can't get out of their own way? Maybe?
Well, if it's a public danger and people just don't know, some people are just lemmings. They'll walk right off a cliff if somebody says, hey, that's cool.
That's true. Jefferson County Council voted 6-1 in favor of banning park visitors from swimming or even wading in the water. They also approved an amendment that was presented that added a sunset clause requiring the council to vote each April on whether the ordinance should continue. I think that makes sense. But you're averaging 6 emergency calls a year at one spot, and you have it posted and signs are there, but people still don't listen. There's a danger sign, and you still jump in.
Yep. It's like that hey, don't press this big red button that says don't press. Somebody's going to press it.
Yeah. It usually happens, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Talked about it earlier in the show. We're a morning show. We like to talk about morning things. Coffee's a morning thing for many people, not everybody. But a Utah coffee chain is opening up in Dardenne Prairie. First St. Louis location. It's called Beans and Brews. Small batch, high altitude roasted coffee, whatever that means. So they've got cold brews. Lots of people have cold brews. But here's something I thought was different. Protein coffee. Protein coffee. We all know how good protein is for us. We basically can't get enough protein. So they have protein coffee and food items.
I'm curious if it's plant-based or if it's bug-based.
It's on the Outer Road 364. It has a drive-through and dining area. Saw that listed. Location Dardenne Prairie, where a lot of people are moving. So they're huge around the country, by the way. They've got 112 different stores. So they got something going on that's working. So they're coming to the St. Louis area. Check it out if you want to, if you're out in that area. From a sports standpoint, Cardinals played last night, beginning a West Coast road trip. They lost in Seattle. Final score there was 4-2. They are now a game below 500. Also, the final game of week 1 in the NFL was played Monday Night Football. The Bears, with their new coach, Ben Johnson, hosted the Vikings, and they had a huge lead. 17-6. It seemed like a huge lead when the Vikings couldn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, the Vikings came back. Final score there, 27-24. Vikings come back. They win. When it comes to this week's games, the Chiefs will be hosting the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. I know there's a lot of Chief fans in the area. So that's Sunday at 3:25 if people are heading over to that. Also, it's interesting. The Bears are going to be moving out of Chicago. They're moving out of the city. They're moving to Arlington Heights. They're going to build their new stadium in Arlington Heights. They'll still be the Chicago Bears. They're not going to be the
Right.
Arlington Heights Bears, but they're done.
I wonder why they're moving further out of like the heart of the city.
Let's see what we got here. Sure. Let's do that.
Could it be crime?
Yeah, that too. It's unfortunate. I don't know how you guys are dealing with it if you're listening to us in traffic, but the judge, Michael Rendezzo, said, I'm stuck in traffic. He's like a massive wreck on I-55 and 270. Sounds like a typical morning, doesn't it?
Yep.
Rush hour.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it.
Especially around that area.
Do we want him to call in?
He can.
Do we want to wait?
I mean, he'd have to pull over. I mean, I would prefer.
Yeah,
him to
no,
pull
that's
over,
what. No,
obviously.
he's a judge.
Of course. I'm just saying, you have to say it because people push the big red button.
Yeah. What number do we have him call?
I'd have him call the.
Do you know what it is again?
It's 855-282-8255.
8255. Or the link again. Can you send me the link that he can join the show?
Yes.
How about this? Can I give you the information so I can do the show and you can text him?
Yeah, just email me his email and I'll email it directly to him.
Can I text it to you?
Text, yeah.
Thank you, buddy, as we take care of the business here. I'm sharing the contact with you now, Projo. This is how things happen in radio. You know how it goes. All this fun stuff happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. I just sent it to you. You can talk to him about that and let him know real quick he's pulling over.
All right.
This is Art City Now. Thank you for jumping in with us on the show today. Appreciate it. So the Bears moving out of Chicago. That's, teams can move. We talked about the Chiefs maybe moving out of Kansas City, Missouri and heading to Kansas City, Kansas. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you got to go where the money is. You got to see what's happening. And then, of course, also, when you look at some of the things that are happening around the country, when you get done, Projo, let me know, and then I'll use you from a video standpoint.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, it's all good. You're doing that thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you weren't with us in the first hour, National Scholastic scoring is at over a 20-year low. Kids 8th grade through 12th grade having massive issues. Science, reading, math, not up to par, and we continue to fall. This testing ended, or at least it considered to be the testing, up through the end of the 2024 year. So it ended in December of 2024. We've had 9 months, but the tests were not very good, just showing how American students are falling and falling behind fast. Over 45% of 12th graders aren't even proficient in math. 45% of our country's seniors not proficient in math. That's scary. It should be a wake-up call. It should be one of those situations where people are like, okay, teachers, parents, education, something has to change. And it hasn't as of yet. What's going to happen? What can we do to change? Especially in the St. Louis area.
Okay.
But we try to bring it as much as we can. So you can just keep me posted on that, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yep. He has the link. He should have the link.
Okay. Something else that we thought was very interesting. The Rock, the actor, of course, and his transformation has been absolutely insane. We showed you these pictures 2 weeks ago, right? I think we did.
Yeah, I think we showed him.
Real quick before I do that, I want to get to Paul's comment.
Okay.
He said scores were declining before 2020 and obviously got way worse after that. And it hasn't gotten better. You're right. 100%, Paul. And the NEAP, this testing, they all say it. It's a nonpartisan issue. They said our scores were declining. COVID just kept it going, but this had nothing to do with COVID. It added to the problem, but it wasn't the reason.
It accelerated the problem.
Kids in America don't care about school. And is it the parents? And then, of course, I talked about it. Is it a situation, you need two parents pushing kids. If there's one parent that's only involved, then one parent. And then you have to have the school doing what they can as well. Day after day, month after month, year after year. And we all know that education is building blocks. If you miss 1 year of math, or if you just tune out, it's tough. You're basically screwed. So you need to keep all those things going. I'm just shocked at how bad we've become in America. So hopefully there's a way to change things. There's some things in the political level that are trying to make things a little bit better. So we'll see. But it's interesting because Greg says that COVID actually saved his son. The kids were so disruptive that they barely learned anything in class. When they went remote, he soared, seized A's. But he's in the minority, Greg. All of the testing shows that he was in the minority, that is a different set-aside case. Most kids were hurt by COVID and having to go home, including my daughter, where there was structure. Your son went to a school where there was no structure, apparently. That's what it seems like, because the kids were acting wild, rambunctious, and teachers were not doing anything about it, or administrators. And those things can happen as well. And it's sad. But this is what was going on with our systems. Crazy to think that was going on, but it was. Anyway, we are Arch City now. Here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. And bringing you all stories, St. Louis related. If you have ideas, email us, archcitynow@gmail.com. Once again, archcitynow@gmail.com. You can jump in on the chat line, X, YouTube, and Facebook. Please like, subscribe, share the show. Let people know what we're doing. Also, Hot Take Central 2.0. They follow us every day. 8 to 10 a.m. They have a big hockey interview today as well. Check them out. The former Blue Cam Jansen and St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. We told you about Mizzou being ranked number 25 in America yesterday from a football standpoint. They are now in the running to have ESPN College Game Day show up in Columbia in 2 weeks. The Mizzou South Carolina football game has now been moved to a 6 or 6:30 p.m. game that night, which adds to the intrigue because they could be selected where ESPN comes and does their entire college football game day broadcast from Columbia. The last time they were there, 2010, that would be really, really, really cool. Really cool. And SEC Nation, including Paul Feinbaum, who was with the SEC Network, when they came to Columbia this past weekend, said that it was probably the most wild and loud show that SEC Nation has ever had. That's right. The University of Missouri and the fans showing out as the best show they've ever had. Not Bama, not Ole Miss, not LSU, not Florida, not Arkansas, not all these schools that lots of people like to go to and think it's so cool to go south. Mizzou, baby. Number one. So kudos to Mizzou. So hopefully it'd be cool to see game day come there. Haven't been there since 2010. And that would be great. No, Greg, I'm not saying they got a chance to make the college football playoffs. But they have a chance. Everybody has a chance at this point in time. Yeah. Okay. We've got Judge Michael Randazzo. Is he going to join us via video link?
Yes.
All right.
He has it, and
we promoted him, and I appreciate him trying to make this happen. Traffic sucks sometimes in St. Louis in the morning.
Especially in the South.
And a lot of times when you're on these highways, there's not alternative routes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can get on your Waze app and do your best, but Waze can only do so much if there's not a variety or alternative routes to get to point A from point B. We've all been stuck in that traffic.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we are your Lou information station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. We'll take a quick break. Can we break a little bit early so we can come back and have more time?
Yeah, I think so.
With Judge Michael Randazzo.
The only time we have to be out right on time is at the top of the hour.
I just want to make sure that our studio is aware.
Yeah.
I'd like to get out just a little bit early.
Yeah.
To give us more time with the judge.
All right.
Who's making the effort for us. So we will. Paul, real quick, Paul says, first, the Power, All, and now ESPN game day at Mizzou. The tide is turning for Flavor States. Well, Paul, they haven't said it yet. SEC Nation came and loved it, said it was the most impactful environment that they had seen. Paul Feinbaum did, loudest. Mizzou hosting South Carolina, 2 ranked teams in 2 weeks, is an option for ESPN game day, which would be phenomenal for the state of Missouri and Columbia. We'll see if it happens. We are your Lou information station once again, live and on demand at louinfo.com. I'm Vic Faust. Projo's alongside. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with Judge Michael Randazzo. Don't go anywhere.
In your city with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of this city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life. In your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
Lunchtime just got a whole lot better at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. From mouth-watering wraps to loaded quesadillas to bold, flavor-packed sandwiches, Hot Shots has something fresh every single day, along with your favorite wings, burgers, and pizza that you know and love. And don't sleep on those Hot Shots tacos. Plus, if you gotta be in and out quick for lunch, Hot Shots has you covered every day starting at 11 a.m. Find your nearest Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill now at hotshotsnet.com. That's hotshotsnet.com.
Buddy.
What do you say, buddy?
Man, life comes at you fast. 1 minute you're cruising home, the next flashing lights in your rear view. And that's when you need backup. With the Legal Buddy app, you can connect to a local attorney in seconds. Seconds? Not waiting days for a callback? Nope, right away. DWI, car accident, criminal charge, traffic ticket, Legal Buddy's got your back. So it's like having a lawyer in your pocket. Exactly. Someone ready to step in the moment you need them, no matter the situation. That's peace of mind. That's Legal Buddy.
We're always going to be buddies, right?
All right, where do I get this? Just download the Legal Buddy app at LegalBuddyApp.com. Register and use code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Nice. Tickets, accidents, legal trouble, you're covered. The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download it today. Enter code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card.
Buddy, it don't get much better than this.
2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. The FBI is offering a $10,000 reward for information in a 2024 homicide case. Marshawn White and Marcus Price were fatally shot while sitting outside their apartment complex on North Kings Highway Boulevard near the Hollywood Beauty Supply and Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis. It's the only homicide of 2024 that remains unsolved. Police don't think a series of shootings around St. Louis on Sunday are connected. 1 person died, 8 were injured. St. Louis police spokesperson Mitch McCoy said on X, detectives are working hard on the investigations. Anyone with tips should contact Crime Stoppers. Trans-Siberian Orchestra will return to St. Louis for 2 holiday shows on December 23rd. A portion of the ticket proceeds will benefit Sightman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital and Prevent Ed. Spectrum is offering to $25,000 for tips leading to arrests for wire theft in Missouri and Illinois. They've had a 200% increase in attacks this year compared to last. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, louinfo.com weather, presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports, anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We have a strong high pressure system that'll be building over the southern plains over the next few days, and that'll keep things fair for us, but the temperatures will be heating up quite a bit. Low 80s and sunshine for today, down to 60 and a few clouds for the overnight hours. We'll be close to the 90-degree mark with sunny skies on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
STL Sports Central is St. Louis's first all-digital sports network, and it's easy to find on YouTube. Catch the Randy Carricker Show featuring Brooke Grimsley Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Videos and written content from Bernie Miklas, Card Central 365 every day, plus post-game shows after every St. Louis sports team plays. It's your favorite on YouTube and online at stlsportscentral.com. Check it out.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not sure how to get a lawyer after an accident? Call Brown & Crouppen. We'll walk you through it. Worried it'll cost too much? Here's a fact. At Brown & Crouppen, you pay nothing up front, and we never get paid unless you do. When you're our client, you'll have all your questions answered, all for free. Hurt? Get the facts and help you need. Call Brown & Crouppen now.
Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Glad you're with us. Happy Tuesday, 7:34 is the time. It's September 9th. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day throughout the St. Louis area. Of course, we'd love to get you up and rolling in the mornings throughout the Lou, wherever you're going, whatever you're dealing with. The sun is shining, but of course, as we know, if you drive our roads, sometimes that can be a problem. And it was a problem today, but we credit our guest, Judge Michael Randazzo, for joining us, who is en route to join us in our studio here in Chesterfield, dealing with traffic and accidents. Judge Michael Randazzo, good morning. Thanks for taking the time to kickstart our morning show with Arch City Now. And now you're stuck on the side of the road somewhere.
Yeah, I apologize. I apologize to you and all your listeners. I did plan to be in studio, and as St. Louis traffic tends to do, it got me delayed, and I pulled over at McDonald's, and so I appreciate you allowing me to call in and at least connect in this way, even though we couldn't do it in person.
Well, here's what we do. We do what we can to get your stories out there and people's stories, but who's to say we can't have you in again? I mean, there's so much to talk about. First of all, what you do being a judge. And then second of all, why you would do a book and put a book together that covers the topics that you're covering. When you and I first spoke, I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to talk about every family has a history. Every family has secrets. And then your family's no different, but you guys are a little bit different when it came to that. So we could, first of all, if you could let people know what you do for a living, and then we can get into the book.
Sure. So I'm a circuit judge. I'm elected in the 42nd Judicial Circuit of Missouri. That's Crawford, Dent, Iron, Reynolds, and Wade counties. I've been serving that position since January 1st, 2021. As a circuit judge in our circuit, I handle felony cases once they've been bound over to the circuit court, either by after a preliminary hearing or a grand jury indictment. I handle domestic cases, divorces, paternity actions, things like that. And I also handle civil cases where the amount in controversy is $25,000 or more. So a lot of the most serious things.
And you got into this field, and obviously you're doing well at it. You love what you do. And we can talk more about that in just a little bit. But you decided to write a book. And we've got time to break this down. Let people know what the name of the book is and why you chose this topic. And then, of course, you and I can have a conversation and I can ask you questions about it. But the name of the book is Presiding Over Shadows, From Chaos to Order in the Court by Judge Michael Randazzo.
Yeah, so the book was really started out as kind of a pet project. I was getting older. I had recently lost my grandfather, who is written about extensively in the book. He was kind of this larger than life guy, and I wanted to do something to preserve his legacy. Now, when it started, this was just going to be a Word file that was going to be on my laptop. I was going to present it to my children someday so that they would have at least an understanding of who he was as a person. I know that they had some really positive memories, but I also wanted to show them that people aren't perfect. And even though they had one side of who he was, that there was a much deeper and darker side to even my grandfather, who was my hero. And to do that, I needed to write these stories down. I started preserving them in that way, and this just expanded from there. It grew and it grew and it grew. It became therapeutic to me. He died a couple years ago, and I still really needed something to help get over his death. He was a huge part of my life, huge part of the book, and a huge part even of my kids' life. But there was lots of things that they did not know about him, and I think that there's a lesson to be learned there that even our heroes aren't perfect.
So what kind of things are we talking about as we speak with Judge Michael Randazzo, who has a new book out, which focused on your family, which I know, but our listeners and viewers may not know. I guess, according to you, tied to organized crime.
Deeply tied to organized crime. So going back a few generations, my great-grandfather, Joe Randazzo, was the first Randazzo here in America. He found his way to the United States and started out around Chicago, ended up in the St. Louis area, and became a made man. He was a mafia guy, and somehow, some way, even though it's really unheard of, he was allowed to be excommunicated from the mafia, the St. Louis outfit specifically. And when he did that, it was a true excommunication. He had to disappear, essentially. He had to break all contacts with any of the people that he'd previously been associated with, including family members. His brother-in-law remained in. That was my uncle Mike Benigno, and he had to break all contacts, even with his own brother-in-law, to sort of escape the pull of the mafia, and really to break that blood oath. It was there's always been rumors that the only way in and out is, the only way out, at least, is through death. And he did not die a physical death, but to the mafia, he was dead.
Talking with Judge Michael Randazzo. So you tell us about a little bit of your family's history, and you want to come to light with this. Two things come to mind. One, would your family be upset? And I'm talking about the big family. And two, what do you hope to gain by this?
So to answer both of those questions, I promised people transparency. I think that the best thing that we can do in all of our lives is just to be transparent about who we are, where we come from, and our failings. And I'm certainly not perfect. I fail at things every single day. But in a way that this book is about atonement for sins, not just of myself, but for my ancestors, the people that came before me, and the people who really made me who I am. I think it gives sort of a look at things that happen in most families, or a lot of families who have these secrets and they never come to light. The families never know any better, but we never truly know who people are. And realistically, everyone has a past. Everyone's made mistakes. And the more we talk about them, the more we can humanize both judges specifically, or judges individually, in the way that I did, but more generally, the judiciary across this country. And there's a lot of distrust in the judiciary. One of the things that I think that we lack in the judiciary as a whole is just transparency. There's this image that judges are just an old cranky, white guy sitting on the bench, barely alive, much less not paying attention to what's going on in the courtroom. And we need to change that perception too. Judges aren't perfect, just like every other citizen, and transparency will go a long way in changing that image for the public.
You brought up your grandpa. What about your dad? and how, I mean, you skipped over a generation there, which brought us to you, which makes me wonder where that all ties into and what kind of mafia are you talking about?
So the going back to my great grandfather, that would have been the La Cosa Nostra, the Sicilian mafia. My dad took a little bit of a different route. My dad has always lived life sort of at a fast pace. One of the things he got himself into, he started associations with some of the Mexican cartel members, and began selling drugs with them. That's the only way to describe his contacts or his involvement. And he took his own path, but found our family back in a familiar situation, dealing with organized crime and all the ills and all the bad things that go with that. And that was really, that hit closer to home than, the connections that my great grandfather, my grandfather might have had. That hit very close to home. I mean, very real. And to be real honest, I should never be where I am today. And I think there's a story of hope there, but there's also a story of just everyone has a past.
Did you worry about coming out and saying this, or is it pretty much well known in all the communities that you're involved in? I just would imagine that maybe some older family members would not be so happy with what you're doing.
So I had a lot of
The book
discussions.
details all of this, right? I mean, you get into details. I'm sure talking about specific crimes that were being committed by your family.
I do. And I had very deep conversations with all of the people that I share the stories of, or almost all of the people that I share stories of. There are some of the people that have passed away, and I didn't have their permission, but I thought that I was far enough removed that it doesn't hurt to talk about it. The people that I do talk about, I had conversations about sharing their stories. And there is embarrassment that goes with some of that. There's also a deeper understanding of who we are. There was always sort of this kind of, at least, impression that our family gave to the people that, in the area that we lived, that we were hiding something. And really we were. I mean, that's really what this book is about too, is those things that people were whispering about or talking about behind, our family's back, my back. Some of those things had some truth, but I wanted to put a fine point on that and say, this is what the truth is. So it's not speculation. It's not people just running wild with their imagination about how people were connected or who they were connected to. And I will tell you that it's definitely not a secret in this book. I do not try to glorify any of the things that has happened in my family. I do not try to. There's always been this kind of illusion that there was some mystique involved with being, in organized crime, or at least some real interest and some public interest, and that's not at all what I'm doing this for. I really am doing this to try to sort of atone for the sins of my ancestors, but also give my kids a fresh start. I feel like in many ways my life has been hampered, or the things that I've done have been hampered by some of the things that my ancestors have done. And I want to give my kids the ability to succeed or fail on their own merits, not based upon what people before them did.
The book is called Presiding Over Shadows: From Chaos to Order in the Court by Circuit Judge Michael Randazzo, talking about his family's mafia ties. What years are we going back talking about? And are you mentioning other families throughout the St. Louis area? Because, people are from the area, or, or Italian or whatever. You hear names thrown about over the years. Even in 2025, you hear about, oh, they were this and they were that.
So there are some names mentioned in the book only as they connect to real stories of people that were connected to me. And so I don't tell any stories about people that either I was not connected to with some familial relationship, or that was not connected to something that impacted my life directly. There are some names that are mentioned that people will recognize, people that have been sort of involved in or tied to the St. Louis outfit over the years, going back to the 50s and 60s. I mean, the book stretches back
Wow,
a long time, long period of time, and it really shows a pattern of activity in my family, not just in the Italian side, because a lot of people want to focus on that side, but there are other crimes that are talked about in this book that were committed by people that are not connected to the Randazzo side of the family, and there's some that are really hard to swallow. Some people that people had are or ancestors of mine that people had a really skewed view of, or a skewed imagination of what was happening or what was not happening in their lives. Some people who everyone sort of thought were great people committed some really horrendous acts.
Have you had any pushback, Judge, from
I have.
anybody?
I have. Even a little bit from my wife. So there's some stories about my wife in there, not necessarily that she's done some things wrong, but sort of there's some stories just about life, about how we met, about how things that happened in her past.
Well, you better be
Um,
careful with your wife.
well, I had to write some things to tell the true story and the full story. I had to write some things about her. I did get her permission eventually, but some of the things that I've written are not, they don't paint her in the best light either, and I've apologized to her for that, but she also knows that we have a story that we need to share, both with our children, but with people who are looking for, that are just kind of wandering endlessly through life and don't have, some understanding of where they're at, or how things are going. And for me, I've always tried to be really humble, and I think I've written this book from a perspective that I am humble about sort of the things that I've achieved, because I've never believed that I had an opportunity to really be where I'm at. But my wife has reminded me multiple times that I'm not really that humble. I wrote a book about myself.
Oh, leave it to a wife. They'll always put you in your proper place. Talking with Circuit Judge Michael Randazzo. I do sense a bit of humbleness. I don't sense a feeling of look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm trying to capitalize on this, trying to capitalize on that. We're talking about some of those issues. I've asked you a few questions about the book and things from that nature without giving it all away. What do you want people to take away from the book, and or anything else that may be in the book from that standpoint that would draw people to it?
So there's something in this book for everybody. If you're looking for something as a reader, if you're looking at something for a human being, there's something in this book that you're looking for. I was talking about my wife earlier. She reads kind of some really, really deep romance novels. There's none of that type of stuff in there, but if you're not looking for that, you can probably find it in this book. There's stories of hope. There's lots of discussion about addiction, about sexual assault. I mean, I just need to be honest. There are multiple instances where there's a one very graphic instance of sexual assault in the book that occurred, and that really changed sort of my view on the way things happen and people in power. And I don't want to give too much of that story away, but
I get it.
That's a for lots of reasons, but that's a huge portion of the book that shows a person in authority and power really abuse that power, and the person that was victimized didn't really have anywhere to go with it, and that story really has shaped my career in a lot of ways. My That story was happened to my mother, and I shared it with her permission, but knowing that happened to her, it changed the way that I viewed victims and crimes. I worked as a public defender for some time. I worked as a prosecutor for a really long time, and I've been a judge for a little bit over 4.5 years, almost 5 years now. But judges don't come to the bench with just some blank slate. You have a past. We all have a past. Knowing those things are in my history, it gives you a much deeper and a better understanding of dynamics that lead to these things that have happened, and I think a much better perspective when it comes to punishing people when they commit these type of crimes. But to circle back, um, the book's not just deep and heavy all the time. There are some really, really funny stories. I shared a story about actually my grandfather Nick, who I was discussing earlier about. He was my hero. He actually wrestled a grizzly bear, and there's a story about being humble in that. He went in with just some belief that he was just gonna, beat the snot out of this bear, and didn't happen the way he thought it was going to. I think it humbled him a little bit, but at the end of the day, he wasn't supposed to win that fight. He got in the ring and he wrestled a bear. And so, I mean, the moral of that story is he wrestled a bear. So I just want people to go out and wrestle their own bears.
Yeah, that's a great point. Talking about Judge Michael Randazzo, how do you turn this all the way back around to who you are and the career that you're a part of and your colleagues? Because you mentioned briefly that this is also about showing who you are, what you do, and judges every day of life, because it almost seems like you're trying to bring some sort of limelight or attention on the jobs that judges do.
I very much am. There is no doubt that the judiciary in this country is sort of under indictment. People have their own beliefs about the way things happen in courtrooms and the way things happen really outside of courtrooms. And I think there's this general distrust of the judiciary at this point. We have to change that. I'm a young judge. I mean, obviously, I'm not the stereotypical picture that people get in their head whenever they say this is a judge. You know, you have a judge coming on. I think people expected something different on your show even. But what I think I can do based upon as young as I am, I can make the changes that need to be made to the judiciary, and I can actually see them through. I don't have to leave this job until I'm 70 years old, either by if the voters decide to continue to elect me, I should say, I don't have to leave this job until I'm 70 years old. And that's a long time for me to be on the bench and change just the perception of what we do and bring some integrity and ethics back to the courtroom.
Why do you think that there's a lack of integrity and ethics in the courtroom, or at least a perceived lack of?
I think there's a perception. I don't think that there's a true lack, but I think there's this perception that things are happening all the time that are sort of backroom deals, especially in the rural courts of Missouri, that, you know, they're all sort of the same work group. Everyone's friends, and we're all playing on the same team against whoever loses in the case, just to say. And that is not at all what happens. In my court specifically, we do everything on the record. We don't take up things in chambers. I want to be as transparent as I can. I promised the voters when I got elected that I'd be an open book, and quite literally at this point, I'm going to be.
When is the book available for people to purchase, and do you know how they would be able to get their hands on that?
Sure. So it is being released worldwide September 16th. There is an Amazon link up right now for the ebook. You can pre-order the ebook. The live link for hardback and paperback copies will be available September 16th as well. It'll go live at midnight on the 16th. The book will also be available in audiobook format, and it's going to be at some retailers. I can't really tell you where those are going to be. That's more of a marketing thing, and that's more of a sort of publisher control. One of the things that I was sort of not really I had a lack of understanding, let's just put it that way, of the way that this process kind of would work. Never written a book. I'm not an author, and I don't claim to be involved in that industry at all. But I gave up a lot of creative control and a lot of control over the way things happened with this book once I agreed to have it published by a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which I'm perfectly fine with. But one of those things, I was talking about Wrestling the Bear earlier, and that was going to be the original title of the book, was Wrestle Your Bear, and then with a subtitle after that. They said that they didn't think that would appeal to audiences as well as the title that we used, and rightfully so. They have a lot more experience than I do. Maybe if I was an established author, I could have got away with a title like that, but
it's all right. It works. Hey, we have about a minute left. I'm just curious real quick, because it is part of the appeal to the book. When would you say, quote, mob activity in St. Louis kind of came to an end?
Realistically, I would say 60s, 70s, maybe a little bit into the 80s, but I think generally even nationwide at that point, the traditional way that the mafia operated was no longer feasible.
I gotcha. Judge Michael Randazzo, thank you so much for coming in and joining us, even from the side of the road, hence the traffic and the accidents that are out on the roads this morning. We'll get you back onto the show. We'll talk about this, and thank you for giving us some heartfelt messages, putting everything out there on the line. So we're grateful for your time. Thank you for the service as a judge, as a circuit judge, and what you're trying to do.
Thank you so much, and I'd love to come back sometime.
Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely do that. Once again, check out the book. Projo's putting it up for you, people. You can get it. Presiding over shadows from chaos to order to court. Judge, we'll catch up with you next time. All right.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic interview. It's very interesting, Projo. Those kinds of things out there. Somebody willing to kind of talk about what happened with their family over a long period of time, and we love bringing interviews like that. And if you guys have other ideas, let us know. artcitynow@gmail.com. For Projo, I'm Vic Faust. This is Art City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes are coming up next. Have an awesome day, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6 a.m. for Art City Now. That does it for us. Let's have a great Tuesday. The sun is shining. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
The Maddie Festival and Conference is back. September 12th through the 14th in the Grand Center Arts District. 3 days, 15 stages, and more than 100 performances featuring legends Common and Pete Rock, Patti LaBelle, and De La Soul. Also R&B stars Lucky Day, Leon Thomas, and Leela James. Jazz greats Branford Marsalis, Pedrito Martinez, and the Baylor Project, and of course funk masters John